anymore? Is that a thing?
It's pretty rare, but I think people have touched on it a little bit. I think we saw one, right, with the Blightstone pick up in the jungle at Kiev, I want to say, maybe in the group stages.
The last time I remember seeing it was actually when I remember Harney doing it like in the qualifiers for Boston.
Okay.
They didn't win, but they had some games where he was getting like level 6 at 4.5 minutes. You can get ridiculous timing on the jungle better. But he just seems unlike, you've got a Treant and a Disruptor. You cannot afford to give up a lane and just have him in the jungle. So
no, definitely not.
He's going to be laning somewhere.
All right.
So for all your war tribes, is it like Vega looks very defensive? What's with that?
They have a bit of potential both ways. So the Veno we used to see kind of, e.g. maybe the most famous example, they used to jungle it and it used to be part of like a quick push when that was more of a thing. You'd get a quick Greaves out and then just go push the team. It'd be really hard to stop. And was it like Zai was like level 5 before 3 minutes or something like that?
Crazy.
Recently you've seen it more as a mid. I think maybe the first time I saw it was LGD actually maybe running it, and I think they got that from a Euro team or somebody else as a mid core. It's almost like a replacement for Lone Druid in some ways. You get the Dragonlance Maelstrom build is pretty common on it. He does a couple things. I mean, he's very difficult to lane with just a headache. He can push his own tower very quickly, and then as far as like vision and things like that, like being able to place the wards in spots where you think maybe a blinker is, maybe the other team is, can be very disruptive and annoying to fight into.
Disruptive.
Usually,
Hey.
usually if you want to kill a Venomancer, you end up like paying the price. It's kind of like a, you'll get me, but I'll get you as well. And speaking of vision, that I kind of see components of that with Navi's draft as well. The Bounty Hunter good at putting some pressure, providing lots of deep vision throughout all phases of the game, and then the Clockwork additionally has some of that function too. So,
I mean, this seems like Navi is going to be very scary in terms of team fights. That's something that Vega, sure, the Venomancer can make a dent in that, but I kind of feel like Navi would still come out on top.
Nah, they've got uncontrollable damage.
Oh.
That's what Abaddon loves, all right? You pop a Death Prophet ult, Abaddon jumps right in the middle of it, and then he just soaks up all them ghosties. And the rest of his team is free to do whatever they want. They've got a lot of burst damage control, a lot of magical damage, and a pretty decent amount of lockdown. I'm liking Vega. I don't know. I think that has... I'm not too hype on Death Prophet or Bounty Hunter. I think both those heroes are kind of garbo right now.
Do you agree?
Bounty Hunter can feel underwhelming rather very quickly.
So
we played a couple pubs together with some Bounty Hunters, and it was quite underwhelming, right? Carry, Bounty Hunter, OD Pixel, right?
The build that I went for was less than optimal. I think it ended up being
Oh, look, it's an Ursa.
I think it was Perseverance into Desolator. Don't try it, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Ursa.
I don't think anybody would try that.
He's right here.
He did. Oh, where's that Ursa?
Beautiful.
Can you hold him up?
We're going to slap him straight in the safe lane there, of course. Straight up, Aloha dance. He's going to love that. He's going to absolutely love that they got him Ursa.
Wrong side, though.
Okay, Aloha dance is not playing the Ursa. He's not going to love it. It is going to be, of course, Pycat. Pycat Ursa, the big old bear himself.
Right.
Actually, not really much of a big old bear, really.
We saw Bounty do great. Was one game against EG, I think, or when there was the Bounty and Death Prophet, I think and they just kept on killing Sumail's Ember Spirit mid. But Bounty can get into a situation where once you're no longer able to harass the lanes, it feels like you just don't do much in team fights. You're kind of just walking around tracking people. And I have to wonder if he's a good fit for this lineup. Maybe you want a more active one that's always ganking. I'm not sure if Navi's lineup, with maybe the exception of the Ursa, is a good fit for doing that. So I'm not sure what they'll get out of this Bounty.
Yeah, Sheever, as you always tell me, where's the stuns, girl?
Where is the stuns?
We got Clockwork, and we got an ultimate from Warlock, and maybe the Shuriken.
Yeah, but if you look at the other side, they've got the bash maybe from the Treant, but that's about it. Kinetic Field, I don't think counts as a stun. Spectre surely doesn't have a stun either.
Stunless gaming here today.
Let's get a Spectre out.
Yeah.
Where are you guys going to put that spooky ghost?
No, we're going to... There you go, that's the Aloha Dance's hero. Yeah, so something a little different. And we're looking for him. Bear with us. There's 112 heroes to go through. We got him. We got him. We saw it. Look at that. That's pretty quick.
We got the old school.
Straight down there we go.
Old school.
Up there in the safe
Spectre. Global.
I like
it. Potential with two defensive heroes that can stall the game out.
This lad is going to be all over the place.
Now, gentlemen, I have enjoyed your analysis.
That's the Roman Bounty.
And it is time for you to leave the war room and make way to the commentating desk because it is your job to commentate the game after just a very quick break. They're running on right now. Don't worry. And in that break, we can decide who do we think is going to win. Jack, game 1. You say you've seen the draft. What's going to happen?
I've got Shark Squad in this one.
Shark Squad, Vega Squadron.
So the Chinese call them just the Shark Team. I think Navi's going to get out to a decent start, but ultimately I think they'll be overwhelmed by the Shark.
Gotta agree with you, Sheaves. I mean, they've got a lot of global presence. They got Train Protector. If he gets an Ags combined with a Spectre, combined with a Veno, shows a lot of trouble.
You like Vega?
And I don't believe in ghosts, so no Na'Vi for me.
I like the Warlock. I think Warlock can make everything okay. So I think Na'Vi is going to take this first game, but we're going to find out as we head over to our commentators for the first game of the day. It is Odie, Pixel, and Fogged.
Prepare for battle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back over to the casting desk of the Dreamtime Season 7. I'm Odie Pixel, and of course, joined by Fogged. You just saw us over the war room. I would apologise, if we weren't perfect, but I've got to be honest, we got the hero players right, didn't we? Everyone is on what we said.
We did. It took a moment to find them. It was a little bit difficult, but first time that happens. But I'm sure third time the charm.
No, we'll be interested to see if we did get the lanes right. At the moment, of course, it is indeed the G mid lane Venomancer, something that we've done in the past, and this man can rack up a hell of a lot of gold on it. Get ready for some Veno action, unless they're able to punish it, Na'Vi. Of course, in the middle lane, going up against the Death Prophet, that doesn't strike me as... Is that easy for the Veno? Can the Veno do a lot to harass the DP out, or...?
Well, he should have, like tree assistance, like tree armor at some points, but I think that's going to be kind of a trading kind of farm lane. I really want to see what build G actually goes for. Is he going to opt to go for the Plague Wards, or is he going to do the new build that we've been seeing, just getting the Gale and the Poison Sting? I think getting the wards kind of hurts, because you can just get... The DP can just kind of easily farm them, but I think this is more than likely a Death Prophet favored matchup, especially with the Bounty Hunter going to be roaming in and putting pressure. Right away, you see General.
Look at this now.
Claiming the bounty rune.
Yeah, getting 3 of the runes here. Nice little play from General. Can he get out, though? May cost him his life. The kinetic field's going to be there to trap him down. And as you can see, Spectre and Shaman the Slayer closing in on him.
Oh, the body blocks by Silent. Oh, they're going to get him here.
That's going to be your first blood. And going, of course, to the Spectre. Is tagged up as the Rio, so unless, of course, it is an ult account, I'm assuming this is a pure stand-in for the Vega Squadron in this game.
That is actually a good point. Do we know if that's Aloha or not? That's very interesting.
I mean, these players have a million accounts. It could be.
It could be.
It could be. We'll call him the Rio for this game. We'll find out.
He went for some interesting stuff, too. He went for the Desolate level 1. So they didn't have Dagger there, but they had the bonus damage to be able to bring down the Clockwork because of it. And they even killed off 3 cogs afterwards after they killed them. So that was just pure value for them.
Interesting. At the moment in the mid lane, both teams doubling up. You've got Suneko with the Bounty Hunter hanging around to help out Dendi. And Shaman the Slayer on the Treant Protector was there to give an extra protection for G's Venomancers. Leaving the side lanes, a little not as we quite expected, because we do have Biva actually helping out General on this bottom lane. They're not leaving the clock on his own. They're actually leaving the solo lane to the Ursa on the top, who's going 1v1 against the Abaddon.
I like this approach. I mean, I feel like this is a lot what VP was doing as well at Kiev. They just kind of picked the Ursa to be that super lane dominator, put him in a 1v1 and let your support just help out the other lanes. It's definitely looking to be pretty decent so far for them with the Bounty Hunter rotation. We do see actually the tree go for the Leech Seed level 1 rather than going for that Nature's Guys. He wants to be able to help out that mid lane because of those Bounty Hunter rotations, so it does make sense. CS-wise in the mid lane at the moment, 9 for 2 against the 5 for 1 of G. Slight edge for Dendi. Bottom lane, Na'Vi in trouble again. There's going to be a bit of a go onto Biva. The Shadow Word looks like to be enough to keep him alive. Now in fact they'll turn and throw a bit of harassment back the way of the Rio. So keeping the Spectre down low, General and Biva trying to do the best to stint his farm, but so far, top of the CS, both carries getting exactly what they want here in this early game. Yeah, this Disruptor Spectre lane is actually doing very well. They're even getting the pulls up on the side, Silence farming the Clockwork cogs every time they get placed down, so that's very good for the side of Vega in that essence, but taking a look at the mid lane, Dendi is just bruising.
He's having a lovely time at the moment. Of course, G, being the Veno, can certainly look to back off and do some jungling. Top lane, though, is going to be where the action is. Afterlife does have those Fury swipes stacking up on him, but yeah, back away.
It's pretty hard matchup, because obviously you don't remove the Fury swipe with the Aphotic Shield. You pretty much have to save your shield to remove off the slow from the Earthshock. They get some pressure on him here. They have an Earthshock in 1 second. Are they going to be able to commit and chase?
Ooh, they still have a lot of Fury swipe stacks. 5-6, one touch would have done it, but they're not going to dive the tower here. Pycat and Suneko have to hold back. Afterlife able to keep himself safe, but really living on the edge on this off-lane Abaddon.
Yeah, I like this approach that Na'Vi did though with this game. Their drafting order and everything too. They picked like kind of like 3 team fighters in a way with the Warlock, Clockwork, and Death Prophet, and then they pick a very fast-paced core safe lane with the Ursa, and also they have Roche control with this. This is kind of the approach that looked like VP was doing at Kiev, just getting that Roche control, having team fight around it as well, and trying to dominate after that with an Aegis and just sieging your towers down. And they do have a building hitter with that Death Prophet. While if you look at the side of Vega, they don't really have a clear-cut way to take towers or objectives. They have this Venomancer who's not going to go the wards because that's just not really the build anymore, and this Abaddon who's going to be struggling a bit in the off lane.
Bottom lane, see if Silent can set something up here. Both him and Sherman the Slayer looking towards General there with the first kinetic field, but the cogs are down. Rio can't get in close enough to get involved with the action, and Vega Squadron actually losing their courier.
Seneko with the snipe in the mid lane. He was just sitting on the high ground and it does actually get killed.
Oh, bottom lane. They'll go for the drag back. Piver healing himself up with the Shadow Word. The kinetic field drops down. He may just live it. Looks like Vega don't quite have the damage. Sherman the Slayer is thinking about diving this, but he has to be really careful. He's taking a lot of fire in return. The living armor won't quite keep him alive, and in fact, he ends up giving away his life there. General being saved once again by the Warlock. He's ready to chase down for more. Looks for Silent. The kinetic field will hold the Clockwork back. But both teams playing around on very low life here on this bottom lane.
Yeah, they've already committed their shrine as well for Na'Vi on the bottom side, so they don't have that extra factor there. They do have some more levels of Shadow Word to at least heal the Clockwork, but not enough mana.
Silent is in a lot of trouble there. Seneko coming in with the Arcane Ring. 1-2, give it a third. That'll be a pickup there for Na'Vi. So they will clean up, and pretty big for the bounty, finding kills like that. Gives them a lot of XP in this early game. Top lane, Pikecat being dove upon. A couple of stripes stack up, but it's not enough to hold Afterlife and Sherman the Slayer back as the living armor and the shield prove too much. The big old bet. 2-2 at the moment, but overall, CS certainly favoring the way of Na'Vi, and we can see very, very early on leads in both gold and the experience per minute. On our beautiful new feature there at the top right that we're going to have this DreamLeague, so you can constantly keep up with the progression between the sides. Mid lane, Seneko has been caught out here. Dendi will come over and try and provide a little bit of help, but Seneko, surely he can't save himself here. Will be glimpsed back into the range of the Sentry Ward, and Vega do clean up the kill.
Dendi almost got the deny there. He went for the auto attack up the hill, but just not enough. Very good map awareness there by Silent, recognizing that the bounty was going to go mid. Preemptively puts a Sentry, even gets the ward as well. So it's definitely a good read there. Even though he's leaving his Spectre safe lane, he knew what he needed to do. Same thing with Seoma going toward that off lane and trying to pressure the Ursa. They did get the kill, as you mentioned. But still, yeah. Na'Vi looking pretty decent. Vega getting some kills, but that courier kill is definitely pushing Na'Vi just about 2,000 net worth advantage just right now, which is very important in this early game for them. They can really just snowball because of this Ursa Death Prophet, Roshan and potential.
General is actually going to find himself an invis here. Definitely a rune that he can make something happen with unless he wishes to protect it for Dendi, and that looks to be the case. Looks like Dendi wants to go grab that one for himself. Does have the level 6. Could start to make movements with the Exorcism. He simply just want to remain mid. Could look to put some pressure onto that tower and try. G out the lane. G.
Another D ward on the mid lane. That's 2 wards that they've countered for Vega in mid. And G actually did opt to go for that leveling play ward build. So definitely a difference that what we've been seeing from the few Venomancers that we do see mid. This game, you could see like the idea that he wants to do, right? Like protecting the Roshan area, and wanting to protect the early towers, and also just set the wards up in mid lane, since he probably feels that he's a bit behind in that lane.
Seneko was thinking about making a move onto G, but indeed hard for Na'Vi to do, knowing that there's vision out and in the neighborhood. Top lane, it's going to be where Seneko makes the next movement. Eyes on Afterlife.
Level 6 now.
Very, very hard to make a go onto Afterlife, even with 2 heroes here. That level 6 up. Bottom lane pressure being applied again onto the rear. Sherman the Slayer's there to back him up. Living armor. To just move into position to soak up some XP. Again, another lane where it's pretty hard for Vega Squadron to make a play against these two. Just with the Spectre and the Treant. Potentially with the Disruptor as well, they can try and displace one of the members of Na'Vi. Tanking Seneko's presence down on this bottom lane isn't going to make life any easier for Vega Squadron.
Definitely not. I like Seneko's movement so far this game, just sitting between bottom and mid mostly. Of course, there's one rotation toward the top lane, but uh-oh, Silent, you're not in a good spot right there. Yeah. Does get the glimpse back, but the cogs trap him in already. He should be brought down.
If the living armor buys him enough time, it should not. With the shurikens to fly through, Seneko picks up the kill. Vega Squadron. Let's do anything in return to pressure that. And actually a bit of a bounty prize there for Seneko as he grabs the rune. Will be able to get himself out of clutches of Shoma the Slayer.
Vega's early laning phase, you kind of expect this to happen, especially in the safe lane. If Navi's going to run this type of aggro, they're definitely going to get pressured. Their heroes come online later with that Spectre. The Venomancer, though, is also still struggling, but he's already preemptively setting up. He's like, okay, I have to start putting some wards around that Roche pit. Just every time the Ursa goes off the map, you have to be very wary of that.
G, of course, picking up the small items, but now looking towards getting the Midas. Pretty sure, at least in all the times that I've seen him play Veno, is the build that he starts off with.
Yeah, I think it's the right approach, especially because they have the Spectre on their lineup, and they have, like we mentioned, like they have the tree, and that's kind of the approach that OG was doing with the tree. Take the game toward the later stages. Don't let them breach your high ground, breach your objectives. And yeah, they're going a Midas on a Baton, Midas on Venomancer, and then they have a Spectre for the super late game, so you can already tell what they want to do. Dendy getting some pressure on him, the Veno
ready
ulti.
To go. That's going to be a lot of damage, ticking Dendy down. Mass TP's coming through though, and it won't be enough to bring out this Death Prophet. As Dendy will back up, he'll live through the ult, and in fact, maybe they can set something up with this smoke for Seneko. They'll look to Shrine, and then immediately make a movement with that smoke, with Exorcism available, knowing that there's no Nova from G, so he can't really do much in terms of a reaction, and Na'Vi could certainly have the potential of finding a kill out of this. They're going to move straight down, heading for the Spectre, who's out of mana, no chance to horn out such, does have 8-1 charges, but it shouldn't be enough, I don't think, with the ultimate coming straight through, trying to run himself away, but the shuriken's there from Seneko and Na'Vi. They find one, they may even find more here, both Silent and Shoma being chased, and they haven't got the vision for Shoma, but he will reveal himself in the neighborhood. A little early carrying detection between these heroes, but it doesn't matter. Na'Vi, they already find themselves the big kill and a bonus pickup, and now we'll look to put some pressure onto the tower here with the Exorcism. A great rotation from Dendy.
Yeah, definitely unexpected as well, the way that they did it with that smoke, just because they were low. And then they shrined up and went straight for that gank potential. And we do see mid lane getting gone on by the Spectre. Haunt Fiverr is going to look to bite the bullet with that one.
Tries to make the pay for it with the Shadow Word, but indeed, it's awareness from Vega, realizing that Na'Vi's putting a lot of pressure on bottom. Instantly with that Haunt, revealing Fiverr on his own. Pycat, actually going to find G, but oh, G, he's got a haste rune. He's going to love that. He's going to turn around and give Pycat a bit of a bashing. And just taunt and kite out this Ursa. Hardly to be able to kill him. He does have the ult and he's right by a shrine. But TP's coming through. Vega will back off, but forced the reaction from Viva. Elsewhere, Silent was able to catch out Seneko with Shoma the Slayer. With General and Dendy in the neighborhood, unable to punish it. General does have the hookshot available. If he sees Shoma, Shoma's dead. But he doesn't have the vision for the tree, does have the vision for Silent. Straight in with the hookshot. Silent is out of mana, and he's also going to be out of luck almost certainly. The living armor, will it be enough to save him? No, it won't. He's out and down. In fact, Shoma has revealed himself here. Has to be careful. But it looks like they should find the trade onto General. The Rio chasing down with that Desolate damage will find General in a couple more picks. He looks for a deny, but won't quite make it to the creep count.
Accepted his death, bought his majority pieces of his Blade Mail there before he's brought down. So Clockwork, only level 7. However, he's about to have a Blade Mail already finished up, which is very good versus the line.
It's a lot of farm for this Clock. Yeah, 3.9k in comparison to you look at the safe lane Ursa, 4.7. It's not much of a difference. Clock certainly up there. General rolling in the money. Yep. Pycan to Roche. Yeah, I mean, do you think Na'Vi going to get away with this, or will Vega realize something's okay there? They know. But
they can realize, but yeah, I think Na'Vi's already too set up around it. They've got the Warlock rock, they've got Clockwork set up in the area as well. I don't think that there's really any way for Vega to contest this. They can try, but it looks like it's going to be pretty tough to actually contest it.
So Life is going to head in. We'll see if we can go for any sort of fishing. Oh, he managed to pick up the Aegis Afterlife. Snatches the Aegis straight out of the claws of Na'Vi. And he's trying to walk it off here. He's still got the borrowed time. They'll drop the column onto the ulted Abaddon. And now Vega, they're on the retreat. General, hookshots forward, finds Shoma the Slayer. The Battery of Soul, meaning there's no chance to cast the Overgrowth. And Na'Vi, they are looking for more. The chase down onto G. They'll get the Earthshock to slow him down. Shields there from Afterlife isn't enough to save G, and Na'Vi get the Roshan. They'll get 2 kills. But they did allow the Aegis to be picked up and snatched away by Afterlife.
Yeah, Silent looks like he might die as well. And this is Trax now starting to come out for Na'Vi, so lots of money going the way. Is he going to get killed? The last auto attack, the rocket,
he's
it's
so
not
low.
enough.
And that kinetic field may have just saved him it. General can't quite close the gap. Hookshot, of course, still on cooldown for 30 seconds.
Seneco's going for it.
Or the snipe. Wing armor's about to wear off. It's actually going to go straight in with the shuriken, but in fact with static storm drop, he may have just killed himself for that one, but he says worth it. It's a track kill. We'll take the gold.
He bought before dying as well. He does give experience to the Disruptor. Oh no, actually the Disruptor didn't even get the experience, so that's actually pretty important. So that's fine for Sineko to do those kind of plays, especially when they're tracked, but that was definitely a pretty big mistake there, giving the Aegis. I mean, he just walked in and grabbed it, nobody even like kind of interrupt him. I think Pycat, it looked like he kind of like misclicked. He walked like forward past it, so slight mistake there, but they do claim the objective that they did want. They're now sitting at about a 5,000 net worth advantage. And yeah, they've got a couple track kills, which is always pleasant. I really like the Bounty Hunter with the Ursa combo. It's something that old Ad Finum, now new Mouse Sports, used to do a lot. Okay. Just so you get that little bit of boosted potential for your Ursa. When people are tracked, you can run them down a lot easier.
With an Ursa in your lineup, definitely something that you need to be finding those kills. Yeah, it's a hero that does not want to sit back and farm. Especially when you're up against a lineup like the Spectre. As the game goes on, that Spectre certainly is going to scale a lot better than the Bear into the late game if you allow the state of the game to get there. But of course, Na'Vi with the Death Prophet, Warlock Ursa, yeah, they are going to be heavy on with the pushing. They do not want to take this lane.
Yeah, they need to keep the pressure on a lot. Like they need to be constantly pressuring all these towers, and I think that them not getting that Aegis there actually really hurts them. We do see some aggression going on to Silent there, but he should be just fine. But yeah, not having that Aegis is actually going to really make them question themselves about going for these big tower pushes. Top lane though, Spectre gets pressured a bit by the Ursa.
Pycat making sure that the Rio does not feel safe in this lane. Lane again, Tenty continuing to put the pressure on Shaman the Slayer, looking for an opportunity to open in, but with the Phase Boots and the Yule Scepter, it's a very speedy Death Prophet, and as mentioned by the panel, it's a little bit of a lack of lockdown. A lot of slows, but not straight up stuns that maybe they do need against elusive heroes. Like the DP on Na'Vi. Move in with the hookshot straight away. General finds one. The static storm drop, but it's not going to do anything. Na'Vi able to walk out. They'll find the tower and immediately after picking up a kill with the commitment here of the Exorcism. And very unlikely that Vega Squadron are going to do anything in reaction to this.
Yeah, this is good moves. They need to just claim as many objectives as possible versus this lineup. Versus Tree as well, you always need to just kill the tower in one go because you can just heal it up afterwards if you don't take it out right away. Pycat freshly picks up his Blink Dagger, looking to try to do something in the mid lane here. We do have the TPs coming out. Warlock Rock is ready.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Let's see, behind his smoke. Picked up by the Warlock. Ready to go for sort of wraparound. Afterlife progression towards the Radiance, 2.2k on the way to that Relic, so still making very good time here. Off lane Abaddon. RV already moving to the jungle of Vega Squadron. We'll see if they can find an opening. Pycat's just picked up the Blink. A lot of jump burst potential. You know, if he wants to go in and Biva can follow up with the Golem, it should be a guaranteed kill, especially on someone like G. G in a lot of trouble right now. Pycat, look at them for the first jump, and actually misses the initial Earth Shock, but they'll commit the Golem for this one. He did get the Poison Nova off in time, so it's going to be a little bit annoying for Biva and Pycat. But they get the kill, and it looks like they will be able to get out. Biva has to be a little careful with the walls up there on the high ground. Hastrian has been spotted out bottom though, so Na'Vi can certainly look to go for something else, especially knowing that the Venom's off the map and Poison Nova is unavailable.
Yeah, it's just Na'Vi on the aggression at all times right now, always being the ones to be the first, do the first move, dictating the pace of the game quite nicely with their push, pseudo push lineup.
Oh, look at Pycat go, sees an option straight away to jump in onto the Disruptor. That Golem just giving the vision for Na'Vi, letting them know that that Disruptor was not in a place to be safe. Did have an Abaddon near him, but even if a shield comes out, the ferociousness of this bear, more than enough to take him down. Top lane, eyes onto the Rio. If they can catch him, Pycat is looking for the wraparound, straight into the trees, the Spectre heads. Does have a horn if he wants to try and play his way out of it. The Earth Shot connects, but still with the free pathing, the Rio will get himself out of there.
Pycat stuck for a moment. But that's all right. And that was actually Dendy's bottle that he gave to Pycat to pick up that haste turn and do that aggressive play there. So nice little teamwork and communication there coming out for them.
Let's see what they can find now. Interesting build as well from Pycat. So the Vlad's the Blinken looks to be going back into a Midas himself.
Yeah, they want to, I guess, have some more late game potential. It's going to be coming out quite late, so he's going to have to wait. I think it's about 20-something minutes it takes for you to get the real like value or something like that. I think I was hearing maybe a little bit less than that, but Yeah, it's a little bit weird to have him go for it, though.
Yeah, especially when you consider the draft that Na'Vi has, the fact that Dendi, he's picking up a hood, still himself very much gearing towards these items that are really going to build him up at this stage of the game. At 17 minutes into half the items that he has, he's going to be feeling very, very happy with himself. Bottom lane, bit of a play going on to Snake. They'll try with the track back, but actually not timing it to track him in the kinetic field. And now with the commitment from the rest of Na'Vi, G's in trouble. He's surrounded by all of Na'Vi. They'll beat down upon him.
Track money.
Just a bit of bad communication there from Vega Squadron, getting punished as they pick up a big kill and also actually able to back up in time to get the deny in the mid-tier 1.
Afterlife is, however, about to pick up his relic on the off-lane Abaddon, so he's looking pretty damn good for himself. They're just trying to farm right now. They don't really care about these objectives. You can clearly tell Vega's like, all right, let's just try to get like a kill here or there and let all the chorus kind of farm while Navi's doing what their team lineup does, push buildings for now. But they are starting to suffer a bit on the map control.
As you mentioned, relic god there for Afterlife. Navi not finding the time or opportunity to punish him on big climb to that first time. But still very much up there. Highest net worth at the moment for Vega Squadron Afterlife. And if he gets a good timing on the completed Radiance, we could very well see him stay quite ahead of the Spectre for this period of the game. As that ban is going to have a lot of resources to farm.
The Abaddon also went for the experience gain, so he's going to be a bit higher level in that aspect too. Going for that level 25 as fast as possible. Seeing how ridiculous it can be. G, though, sitting behind the off-lane Clockwork. He's probably not where he wants to be, but still trying to find his farm up with the Plague Wards and defend towers, or defend the high ground later on. But Navi's still just grouping up every single time they've got any opportunity. Push the lanes in as best as possible. Take towers.
G certainly needs more time. As if Na'Vi are actually going to give that to Vega Squadron with the way that they've been playing so far. Gains a Mex and Eco.
General went back for a Midas as well on the Clockwork. I think this one is very good. I like this on this the support new thing that people are doing. It's like you get that one core item that you need for your support, like the Mag Blink, be what it is, and then you go back for the Midas, and then in time you'll get the other items that you need. Just to, to have that little cushion in case things go wrong in the mid game. The Na'Vi claiming another tier 2 for themselves without even having to commit Exorcism, and there is an Arcane Rune spotted bottom, so we're probably going to see that one grabbed by Dendi for his next Exorcism usage.
Here we have it. Into the tower they go, Na'Vi. They'll claim this tier 2, despite Shema the Slayer's best efforts with the living armor. It won't be enough. More money for Pycat. And up top already, they want to try and go for a play. It's straight away. Chaotic Offering dropped down onto 2. General with a nice wraparound, but he doesn't have the control. The Rio's already out of there. The Static Storm and the Kinetic Field holding back Na'Vi, as immediately Vega Squadron will look to get themselves out of there. And a very, very good disengage there from Vega, making sure that Na'Vi, with their ultimates, with the hookshot and the Golem, are unable to find a kill.
Yeah, that was beautiful disruptor ulti there by Silent, just not letting them able to chase out at all. And that's what the panel was mentioning. There's not really a whole lot of lockdown on the side of Na'Vi. They have some decent catch with the Clockwork and Track, but they need to have those heroes in the right position. They didn't have Dendi there because he was finishing off the bottom tower, grabbing the Arcane Room, so he doesn't have the Spirit Siphon to chase people out. So whenever they go for those, they have to have the best heroes and proper hero setup. Afterlife finishes Radiance. He's getting gone on, but he's very
Radiance
tanky.
Abaddon. I don't think you're killing this now. V General Sineko trying to commit, but they're just going to turn here. Vega Squadron. The Hawk comes through. They've already lost one, and this has been a pretty bad call for Na'Vi unless they could turn it around with the Exorcism. Dendi turning back towards him, but Shoma the Slayer on the low ground with the Overgrowth holding Dendi back. The Poison Over being committed here on the DP. They will actually take down Afterlife finally on the Abaddon, and it looks like at the end of the day the Exorcism is too much still for Vega Squadron to fight into, despite what looked to be a fantastic start for them in that fight there. Na'Vi committing heavily onto the Abaddon, but it didn't matter. They just don't have the power to deal with this Death Prophet when the ultimate's up.
Yeah, they didn't have their big ultimate, their big lockdown from the Disruptor either, so that definitely hurts them a bit.
Na'Vi, again, with a positive engagement, straight into the pit. Double damage rune as well, waiting for them outside. And I like this much more from Pycat. We saw him kill up the Midas, but changing now, getting the Shadow Blade, much more fits the tempo of this game for an Ursa. And, ooh, gee, has to be careful. Pycat thinking about chasing it down, but he won't commit. Wants to finish off Roche, and then we can certainly expect to see him go for some more aggressive plays. General, Rio, outside of the pit, holding back Vega Squadron, making sure that they can't get in to contest the Roche. He's there with the setup. Silent Afterlife trying to wrap in from the sideline. In fact, Vega, they are stopping Na'Vi from getting away from this one. Making it very hard for Pycat to commit on the burst. Yeah, finds the Disruptor on the sidelines. And now, no Static Storm, no Kinetic Field, no Disruptor. General with the wraparound, trapping Vega Squadron in. Afterlife looking to turn. Does have the borrowed time available again. General playing around on the backlines. Actually takes down the Rio on the Spectre. Spectre's down and down. Does pay with his life, General, but absolutely worth it from there to kill the position 1 of Vega Squadron, allow Na'Vi to get back in the pit, and this time, no snatching at the Aegis. Pycat will grab it himself.
Yeah, Vega's just still not really all that fight ready. They do have the Radiance on the Abaddon, but the Spectre has just Blade Mail Yasha. He's not really got that like big up to. He's got the Blade Mail for the Death Prophet ulti, but Dandy already has Yules. They have lots of heal with the mech coming out from the Bounty Hunter, who's also going to be building toward maybe even a pipe as well. I don't know. Yeah, they could probably go for a pipe too. He has the hood, but yeah, just a lot of different ways for Na'Vi to actually take fights, and Vega just keeps getting the same thing that I was saying before. They keep getting jumped every single time. They're getting gone on. Just the vision game from Seneko, the wards that he's been placing down as well. Just vision advantage is really, really monumental for Na'Vi's plays right now.
So
and I really like the Shadow Blade pickup on the Ursa. He's going to be going for the Silver Edge to counter the Abaddon, so you can actually remove the shield and have him forced to manually click his ultimate. He can't get silenced as well. So if he gets Silver Edge and then Death Prophet gets a silence on him, that's how you bring down the Abaddon every single time. And it works well versus Spectre too, removing that Desolate, removing the Dispersion once he gets the Silver Edge. Definitely a good adjustment there by Pycat. G in mid lane, he's tracked up. Looks like they want to do an aggressive play on him. He is very alone.
They could commit the chaotic offering for this if they see necessary. He'll force himself back, jump forward from Pycat with the Earthshot. There's the Golems to follow up. And Na'Vi again, pick up 2. No chance for any sort of response to come out from Vega Squadron. Now clean up towards from G. Na'Vi ready to move down the mid lane. Exorcism back available again for Dendi if they want to commit for more, as Vega Squadron without their Venom for 30 seconds.
This is what Na'Vi needs to do, keep the aggression up with their lineup. I'm not really seeing a lot of, to be honest, like the teamwork coming out from Vega seems to be like really getting discombobulated from what Na'Vi's doing to them. They're just like, we need to split up, but then people are getting caught out in weird positions, like so far in front of the tier 2 there. And they don't really have the greatest vision on the map. They have like one ward which is placed super far aggressively, which they're never even really going to get to that side of the map.
Oh, General with a nice hook shot will cause a bit of an issue here for the Rio, who is out of there. But still, the harassment just slowing down this Spectre's farm. The Rio feel very, very scared around the map. Bottom, Pycat will be dusted up, but a quick blink off just in time. Looks to save his life. Denny also hastes across with the 3-man silence to make sure that there's no chance for a glimpse. Very nice play there to ensure that Pycat doesn't get trapped.
Teamwork. We do see now another Blade Mail picked up, so Abaddon even going for one for himself, since there is a lot of that type of damage on the side of Na'Vi. The Exorcism is probably one of the best ones to counter with Blade Mail, but he does have a Yules, and he does have Spirit 7, which is pretty good. Yeah. You do heal a lot from that, and he's going to be getting an Octarine quite soon as well. So his
he's
damage...
very close. I mean, this, yeah, 12... I mean, the farm for both Pycat and Dendi has been pretty phenomenal. 12,500 on both of them. A 10k gold lead at the moment for Na'Vi as a whole. Mid lane, the Rio being spotted out straight in, but the Manta Star's there. He backs off. Na'Vi now looking to reposition themselves. Exorcism still unavailable for a good amount of time. They'll go in here with the 2-man Poison Nova. Seneko will be the first to fall. Dendi uses himself up, but he cannot save it from the onslaught that Vega bring. Quite funny Biver though. Will get himself out with a clutch Shadow Word TP away. Vega Squadron, they get to the ultimates this time, coming together perfectly. They look to put a bit of pressure in on the mid lane. There's still no Dendi Death Prophet for 35 seconds. It is a good opening here for Vega Squadron to try and abuse if they wish so.
That was perfect. Like, they picked up the Manta on the Spectre, and then that's when they're finally grouped up. Like, they have not really been grouped up too well in this game, but that time they're like, okay, Na'Vi just keeps being a bit too hyper-aggressive, and we can just kind of set up for it. And that's exactly what they did this time. With the Spectre Manta finished up, they actually are able to bring the Death Prophet pretty quickly with that massive Desolate damage if he is isolated.
Pycat, that Silver Edge, as we saw, they're not doing as much as he'd wish. He really needs to kind of get the strike in after the Manta's been used. Otherwise, it's very hard for him to focus on one hero. Those illusions kind of throwing him off in that last attempt. But here we go again with the instant replay. And as you say, that Death Prophet, for the amount of farm she has, just melts in a matter of seconds because of that Mantis.
Yeah, Manta, Haunt, he has four Desolates pretty much hitting the Death Prophet there, which just melts him so quickly. Na'Vi right away, they've got the Octarine finished up. They're looking to take this bottom Rex. They want to put as much pressure as possible. They know the Spectre Haunt is still down. They know the Venomancer ulti's down. They know the Tree ulti's down. This is their time to go.
A really good time to head up to the high ground for Na'Vi. This is their peak, 28 minutes in. Time to go. Vega, can they slow it down? G already laying down the wards. Throw out the Gale onto Dendi. Tower's already down to half health. The Aegis now being reclaimed. So Na'Vi, without that second life on the Ursa. Oh, please see just a short pause here. The side of Na'Vi. Very much ready to commit for this high ground push. Do you think they're going to get away with this, or are we going to see Vega force them back without their ultimate?
The thing is, Vega doesn't really have many ults. They now have the Disruptor ulti at least, but at this point it's already Na'Vi pretty much bringing down the tower completely. It's at less than half HP. They've got all their ultimates ready. They're not. I don't think that they should really like overcommit. The hook was missed, so Clockwork Hook is down. Death Prophet ult is probably halfway. I think claim the tower and get out. I think going for the full Rax committal at this point is a little bit too soon because their Aegis just got reclaimed, so definitely needed to just wait it out a little bit.
So far, so good in terms of timing for Na'Vi. You think overall this is going pretty much exactly as they would have hoped?
Yeah, I think so. I think that Vega maybe could have been a little bit more prepared for some of those movements that were happening. I think that it was definitely possible for them to counter gank. They definitely recognized it too. They were like, okay, we keep just getting ran at, and then they were like, okay, now we sit 4 heroes behind our Venomancer, and boom, now we're able to get a counterplay. So that was a nice little good move by them. But still, they've lost a lot of map control. They're claiming a couple towers though, so I think that first Aegis still really hurt Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's I mean, as I said, just Pycat, I imagine, actually clicked on the search Afterlife, was able to get block off in terms of right-clicking, but yeah, and Afterlife himself, he's having a pretty great game. You know, great timing on the Radiance, the Blade Meta follow through, as we're seeing a lot of these fights. He is the issue. You know, Na'Vi, they want to get him out of the fight, but they just don't really have the tools to kill him straight away. He's able to walk off, turn around with the ultimate, and cause real problems for them at the start of the fight. You know, Na'Vi, they seem more reliant on having their ultimates to fight than Vega Squadron are. Already, this Spectre's getting to a point and a hero and him and Abaddon commit onto someone that they can get the kill, but Na'Vi, they need the Exorcism, they need everything really. Pycat ready to go with the Enrage, otherwise it's very hard for them.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Vega's lineup and you're like, wow, if this game goes, I mean, even another 12 minutes or so, that could be when Na'Vi is just going to be getting ran over, because the Tree Armor is going to be able to stall the game out. Spectre's going to be big enough to just haunt and kill the backlines. The fact that they have Spectre versus a Warlock as well, they don't really have the greatest heroes to just like jump in and burst him, but Spectre, once he gets big enough, can kind of just do that on his own. They have a lot of different ways to just defend the high ground. So it's definitely a bit concerning for Na'Vi, but they have this timing window right now. Siege, get tower, maybe wait for next Aegis or so, get that, go for the Rax again with the next Exorcism. They have a low cooldown Exorcism too because of that Octarine finished up. And here we go.
Hop back in as the siege continues, and there's the golden draw straight away. Managing to actually get two on the front lines. Great start for them as they take down the Abaddon immediately. I believe with the combination of the Silver Edge hit and the silence, no escape for the Abaddon. Afterlife actually buying back the Rio, trapped up by General's Cogs. And Vega, they found 3 and they may even get more here. Dendi, Exorcism actually will now wear off. He's in a bit of a vulnerable position, very high on the high ground. Poison Nova comes in from G. Dendi trying to get himself away, healing himself up with the Soul Siphon. Na'Vi's still there to back up. Pycat jumps back in, rips into G. That's GL. Afterlife pops the ult this time. Na'Vi being split up. The Horn comes through. This could be a massive cleanup here for Vega Squadron. They've got to. Pycat, will he fall as well? The Earthshock slowing down the Rio. He'll continue to try and chase. General will be finished off on the backlines, and they get Pycat as well. Triple kill for the Rio. Afterlife had to buy back, but that's and so did the Rio actually. So I imagine, buyback, the gold penalty was still on, so that is going to hurt. He gets a lot of XP, but the gold amount, I mean, you see it there. Because of that buyback, the gold advantage still swinging the way of Na'Vi. I mean, that's always painful. It feels like you've seen a triple kill on a Spectre. Wow, buyback penalty, that money suddenly becomes minimal.
The big thing is, though, the experience. They did get a ton of experience there. They didn't lose they lost their gem, but recovered it right away. I think the supports got a lot out of that on the side of Vega, and the tier 3 did not die. It was at 30 HP, so it's going to get healed to full by the Tree.
Good old Tree.
Which is actually pretty devastating for Na'Vi.
Yeah, so overall, definitely the buyback, certainly worth it as Vega hold on, and that's pretty much what they need to do, as we're saying, at this stage of the game. If you can hold Na'Vi back, it's only going to get easier and easier for you to continue in this game.
Yeah, I think Na'Vi should honestly just go again.
Yeah.
I think this is their best time. They know the Spectre ultimate is down.
Yep.
They saw the buybacks were used. If they can force another engagement like that, they know they can win the fight if they get the fight like that.
Yeah.
It was only because Vega had double buybacks that they were able to repel them off. And Dendi, I feel he overcommitted a bit. He dove pretty hard into the base with that exorcism wearing off instead of just finishing off the tower. You could see he wanted the kills, but objectives are definitely what they need to be doing here. Kills are great because they have track, but they need to get those buildings knocked down versus a Train Protector.
How long have we got left for Chaotic Offering? That's the only piece of the puzzle really that that Na'Vi's missing for the next push. What,
20 seconds, yeah.
So it is going to be there soon, and I think, yeah, you can definitely expect Na'Vi to try and go for another sort of play like that. And it may be kind of one of their closing chances on this game. They mess that up and they don't kill the Spectre, then certainly Na'Vi are in such a difficult position.
Yeah, absolutely. Spectre's got, I believe his Diffusal Blade almost finished up. Yeah, he's pretty much got it done.
Yep.
He's going to be picking up the last piece at the side shop here. The supports are grabbing a few items too. We almost have the Solar Crest finished on the tree. We have the Hurricane Pike finished on Venno, who also now has level 18, so his ultimate is actually quite powerful, quite potent.
Top lane, Na'Vi. Only a couple of them in, but still yet to kind of make that group up and go that we sort of hope that they will do. As it certainly would be the strong play to make at this stage. As time is not going to make things any easier for Na'Vi here in this game one.
Yeah, Vega should just... I feel like even if they should be a little bit afraid of getting killed, I think the tree should be scouting out, but they should just be pushing lanes out very aggressively right now. Probably not the Spectre so much, but the Abaddon, the Venno, the Disruptor even can just nuke waves out and push it out just so Na'Vi can't hit their base. They already have their tier 3 fully healed from the Tree Protector, so definitely very relevant. And this gem is actually quite huge too that they had from that last fight on the tree. So he's just walking around scouting, trying to get as much information as possible so they can push those waves out properly and keep stalling this game as they need to.
Let's see. They can find here. G has picked himself up an invis. Be lovely for Vega to try and find a fight with the Poison Nova and such. And in fact, they're going to go for it straight up. It is quite a lot down to Silent to get a good Static Storm. He needs to make sure some of these ults don't come out from Na'Vi in return. He has to trap them. From the low ground at the moment, they head. The smoke will be dispelled on Afterlife, but the Observer Ward is down for Na'Vi. So immediately spotting out the Abaddon. And that will put an end to any chances of Vega Squadron catching Na'Vi off with that smoke.
Yeah, pretty hard lineup to, set up smokes with right now, especially if they're smoking like the Abaddon, disrupt their Venno. They can just kind of put fear into Na'Vi in a way and just let them just stall the game out. That's all they have to do. Spectre's getting his farm. He's level 20, so he's got his 20 strength talent. So he gets a lot tankier from that. It actually starts making a big difference versus what Na'Vi has. And they're going to start getting closer to those level 25s, which become extremely potent. Ooh. Second smoke gets scouted by the rocket, though, by Na'Vi.
That rocket there. Giving Na'Vi the info they want, and they want to fight into it. Smoke on smoke. Na'Vi make the call to try and catch Vega off with this one. But Vega, they've already got the high ground here. They head up to the better position. There'll be a bit of a go onto the Rio, but he's already out of there. Manta's away up to the high ground.
The flank on the back line.
Let's see if they can get the good wraparound. They get the trap onto the Warlock, so there's going to be no column. In comes the Haunt from Rio. They focus Viva first, but he gets the column off before he goes down. Now Dendi and Pycat moving forward. Pycat had just finished off the BKB, but already Na'Vi, they've lost two. Dendi being surrounded, going on by Afterlife, Vincere the Slayer. The bash comes through from the tree, and do they have the damage to bring him down? He'll yules himself up. Can Dendi keep himself alive? The Octarine is trying to do its best, but it's not enough heals. Na'Vi, they lose a fourth. And this is absolutely terrifying for Na'Vi, as this could pretty much be the point of the game where you just look at Na'Vi's lineup and you say, it's not going to cut it.
That was beautiful wraparound from Vega. The Rayo, the Spectre, he pretty much baited them. He's like, hey, here I am. Try to go on me there. Na'Vi kind of fell for the bait. They get set up on from the back line. Viper gets a late rock out. Not his fault. He just got grabbed up by the nice rotation coming out from Vega. And Silent. He wanted to recover that gem, but Pycat was there ready for it. And that was Na'Vi with the first reveal of the BKB on the Ursa, but now it's heavily swinging into the favor of Vega. Even though the gold graph doesn't really say that so much right now, it's definitely very prominent. They're going to be getting... That fight was probably worth almost 5,000 gold swing for themselves here.
Shama is out of there before any shuriken as such comes through. And yeah, just really, really good, as you said, great wraparound from Vega and fantastic prioritization of target after target. First of all, get the Warlock out. Biver did manage to get off the Chaotic Offering, which was a little unfortunate for Vega Squadron, but as we saw at the end of the day, it didn't matter. It's not enough to allow Na'Vi to turn it around. Pycats into the pit. If they can get this Aegis, this certainly will sort of give Na'Vi this next extra chance to go for a push. They'll pick up the cheese as well. Hook from General. See if we can find anything here. So Shoma the Slayer's already on his way out. General will come hunting for him. They know he's around in the neighborhood, and they've got the dust onto Biver. So Shoma will be surrounded. He'll pop the Overgrowth, try and kite Na'Vi up, but being chased into the corner, he'll almost certainly go down. Pycat goes in to finish off. Denti will get the kill secure.
Did they see the gem? They didn't see the gem on him the whole time while they're hitting him? Or did they pick it up? Okay, they picked it up, I think.
Yeah, who managed to get their hands on it?
Probably Sineko. Yeah, Sineko's got it grabbed up. Okay, good. So they do get the gem, and like you said, they've got the Aegis. This is
the time.
They've got to go. They have to just keep
Oh no, wait, the gem's still there. No, we just saw in the ops, the gem is still there.
Okay, so they bought their own. Yeah, I didn't think that they actually took it, so.
They didn't realize the gem was dropped.
That's weird when they were all like fighting him as well. Not really expecting something like that.
Here's to go for Na'Vi. Exorcism committed for this one. Afterlife already back up to the high ground. Denti trying to get in range to get some damage done to this tower. But he's being held back by the Venomancer. Snako trapped up here in the field. Pycat commits though with the BKB in the enrage. Takes down the Disruptor. Only dead though for 20 seconds with that respawn talent. He's going to be back for this defense. And now the Exorcism is getting close to the end of its duration. Denti backs up. The tier 3, again, it was damaged, but it wasn't taken down. So Shoma the Slayer is going to be there with the heal. The tower's going to be fine, and now the killing begins for Vega Squadron. They find Sineko, and in fact, he's tracked himself. The use of the Lotus Orb there, causing the bounty to spell his own death. They've trapped up Pycat here on the Ursa, as now it's Vega just moving on for kill after kill. You have the vision here for Pycat. They didn't initially around the area, so Pycat will still get away. But it's, again, Vega getting 2 kills. The push from Na'Vi unsuccessful, even with the cheese and the Aegis.
And that time Sineko lost his gem and the tree recovered it. So the one tree is still hiding out the one gem is hiding out in the tree
so
there.
Vega didn't realize that Na'Vi didn't take it.
Nah, that one's, I don't think that one's, that's a pretty hard spot to actually find. It's pretty hidden there. So, but they do recover the gem from Na'Vi now too. And Spectre now has a Scotty. He's getting close to his 25. But, we do see the pings coming out. Oh, we do see the Aloha on the Spectre. Spectre sees the gem.
He's found it.
He's like, wait a minute. And he does get it. And Abaddon now, level 25. He's got that plus 300 aphotic shield. This is going to be devastatingly hard for Na'Vi. They still have not broken the tier 3, not able to break the high ground versus the living armor and damage potential that Vega does have. And now Sioma recovers his gem. So thank you.
Lotus Orb pick up from Afterlife. Proving to be very useful in that last fight. Sineko has to be careful on where he's throwing the tracks out to. Eyes onto the rear up top. With that Scotty though, he's so tanky. I mean, do Na'Vi have the damage? Maybe if they can get Pycat in on him, they can start to bring him down. But it isn't going to be a quick kill. And the Rio already, just with his superior speed, he's out of there. With the dagger, very hard for Na'Vi to chase General. Maybe thinking about going for a hook shot. He's looking for the opening, and he will actually get the connection onto G. Looking to push him back with the close. No, he goes forward. He's managed to catch 2, but in fact, they just turn him, and the BKB and the Blade Mail is not going to save General. General ripped to pieces. The Poison Nova coming out in time. Pycat will finish off the Venom with the Earth Shock, so it's a 1-for-1 at the moment. 80 seconds without G. Afterlife being chased down, but the Static Storm's there, holding to Na'Vi back. Pycat moves on forward with the BKB, gets the bash onto Afterlife, but the borrowed time is still there for the Abaddon. Afterlife on the retreat. Denny has the Exorcism out and ready to go. They need to do something with this and the Golem, it feels like. But Na'Vi actually backing away, even with the Veno off the map. Still feeling timid at going high ground at this stage of the game.
Exorcism running low. A couple of the Vega ultimates were expended, but the Haunt wasn't. The big one was not. So, yeah, Na'Vi just unable to press the advantage with that Exorcism. Venomancer are going to be getting close to that level 25 as well, too, for Vega. So once he gets that respawn talent, when he dies like that, that's kind of like your job at that point. You just run in, you throw your Poison Nova, get a couple other like wards, and your spells off. But dying is not so bad, because you respawn in like 40 seconds on Veno when you're 25. Pretty good stuff.
Let's see what... I go Shoma the Slayer. Just getting some vision back up here for the side. Gold lead still hovering around that 5k for Na'Vi. But it is slowly swinging back towards Vega. You can see XP difference massively going the way of Vega Squadron. A lot of that down to some of these big team fights where We've seen the Rio pick up a hell of a lot on that Spectre.
Yeah, and they have the 30% experience sounds from the Venomancer at 10, and then the 20% from the Abaddon, so those things just start adding up a little bit throughout the game. But yeah, Afterlife is going to be getting pretty monstrous. He's getting close to that Octarine too. And oh man, Biver just gets killed so quickly.
This Spectre just rips them apart. Can Dendi even get away from this? He's slowed down by the Diffusal. The Solar Crest is not going to be enough to chase it. You know, they throw down the cheese, but they cannot keep this Death Prophet alive. I'm really struggling to find an out this game for Na'Vi. It really feels 40 minutes in, they may have just passed their time.
I think that they have as well. I think it's really going to be up to Vega making a lot of mistakes in order for Na'Vi to really take this one. But even then, I think it's just way too hard for Na'Vi to break it versus this lineup. They're itemizing very well. They've got now the Solar Crest on the tree. They built a double blade mail, so Exorcism really hurts Dendi a lot when he does actually use it. It's just pretty hard for Na'Vi to fight into this Vega defensive lineup with the Abaddon being so high leveled and overfarmed.
A straight push down the mid now from Vega Squadron. Certainly realizing that they are the team now with the stronger potential. ICAT looking to complete his Abyssal Blade. Still a little bit off. Maybe with that they'll have a chance of bringing down some of these big cores. At least putting a dent into the Spectre.
Oh, Spectre now. Okay, so he takes the Spectral Dagger cooldown. We've been seeing pretty much everybody doing that one now.
Really? That's the new trend. Okay.
We saw, I think, a few times at Kiev, people were grabbing the 400 health, but it's pretty underwhelming. Like, you get 20 strength at 20, and then you get 400 at 20. It's
like
the same exact thing.
I mean, yeah, it's worse.
Like, it's worse than the 20 strength talent.
Because you don't get the regen.
Yeah, and being able to have the multiple daggers, you're always able to be phasing, getting the back lines. It's just a much better selection that they can go for. Top lane.
Top lane, look to make it go on to Afterlife. They need Pycat, and they do have him. They bring him in. Afterlife, looking to get himself out of there with the Lotus Orb and the Borrowed Time, but Pycat, Snake, and Denny on the chase down. But look at this, Vega Squadron already swooping around. General will try and hold them back with the cog block. Gale did connect. Shemma the Slayer and G looking for blood. Na'Vi on the way back. There's the Horn, though, ready to set things up. The Rio going straight in, looking for the wall up at the turnarounds there. They'll drop the Golem. General hooks in. BKB's been put. They trapped up Shemma the Slayer, but it looks like he just doesn't care. Walks his way out of there. The Spectre now going ham as Pycat being focused down towards the south. Double kill for the Rio, and he's not done yet. Dendi now the next focus. Has the Exorcism out there, but it looks like it's not going to be enough damage to get the kills. Silent and Afterlife turn towards him, bring him down. The gem's been dropped, and now with the glimpse back onto General. Vega Squadron, they're not done yet. They'll pick up the clockwork as well. And again, another incredibly convincing fight at this stage of the game for Vega Squadron, and very little that Na'Vi can do to stop it, even with the commitment of their ultimates.
Yeah, Afterlife is playing really well. I mean, his item decisions, as I was touching on before, are just great. Like the Lotus Orb, they can't burst him. Like, they just can't Silver Edge burst him because he just removed the silence with the Lotus Orb. They're not able to chase him that well either because he just Lotus Orb removes any of the slows. There's no any hard lockdown on the side of Na'Vi, so it's just really hard for them actually to get on a target and burst them down, and they just have so much survivability at this point that the Exorcism doesn't do as much damage as you really would want it to.
Pretty much ever since that play down the bottom with that buyback into the triple kill, when Na'Vi was stopped, they've been unable to get their footing back in this game. 2 buybacks being forced out by them there, both Dendi and Pycat paying to play back in this game, and very much, you know, one more bad fight for Na'Vi could certainly cost them the game.
Yeah, this next Roche is probably going to be where the game gets decided. I believe that Vegas still has much better fight. They've got Octarine now finished up on the Abaddon too, so he can throw out shields every 4 seconds. It's just way harder for them to try to kill him. Yeah, Venomancer now level 25. Everyone on the side of, or the big heroes on the side of Vega now have their max level talents. While on the side of Na'Vi, they are quite a ways away.
Big swings here, as it's straight into Vega's favor in terms of net worth and most certainly in terms of experience gained. Huge leads, and leads that are going to be very hard for Na'Vi to swing back round at this stage of the game. 44 minutes in, Vega Squadron hitting a very strong point for themselves. And as you mentioned, with this Aegis and Cheese, they'll be ready to go. Na'Vi looks like they may be going for one last-ditch attempt here, though, as they make a beeline straight towards the Roche pit. And we'll see what they can get away with this. They need a miraculous team fight, and they'll be a little too late by the looks of it. Roshan already falling. Aegis have been picked up by the Rio, and he's ready to go. Looks towards Biver, but Biver gets himself up to the high ground with the Glimmer Cape. They just turn towards Dendi, and Dendi gets ripped to pieces. No buyback, of course, now for the Death Prophet, down for 100 seconds. And at this point, you've got to be expecting the GG call coming out pretty soon from Nav.
Yeah, more than likely. We have the Aegis, Aegis on Spectre. He's got Butterfly finished up. They've got pretty much all the tools that they need now. But even if this game goes later, it just gets better and better for Vega because of the heroes that they have. While Navi's lineup definitely does fall off quite hard. And here we go. They go for the siege now.
How well can they hold with just 4 heroes? Straight onto the tower, and indeed absolutely melting with this siege power the Vega Squadron have built themselves up to. And the middle racks will fall. Bottom lane, Pycat looking at a bit of split pressure on, but nowhere near going to have the same amount of pressure and power that Vega can put in as a team. As they head towards the second set of racks, won't be able to get the Megas. There is still a tier 2 standing for Na'Vi on that bottom lane, and with Pycat forcing that lane all the way back round to Vega's base. There'll certainly be a bit of time before Vega can do that, but it's almost certainly going to happen. Na'Vi will buy themselves some time to stay in the game. Pycat just going to jump in on this one, finishes off the tier 3. Could get punished though. TPs are coming through. Shama the Slayer looking for the setup. Pycat, is he going to be speedy enough to get out? He will be. With the Silver Edge, gets himself away, so we'll get a tower trade. But yeah, 2 racks down for Na'Vi.
Yeah, I don't think Vega really cares too much about that one with the commanding lead that they have now. And now they're all just getting luxury, luxury items. Disruptor with an Aghanims. Yeah. Tree getting, Tree has his 4-step, he's going for a Blink. Blink is this one's actually quite good in these games. But the Disruptor Ags is one, it's just like, hey, I've got an Ags now. It's not really too nuts, not really too needed, and it's not really gonna change it too much, but it is quite good. It's great versus the Ursa. It's just always a good item pickup.
Oh, Pycat finds G, but immediately the Static Storm dropped down in response. The Chaotic Offering is there, but it's just not enough. Poison over, G throws it out, and he's still at max health here, surviving through this all. Na'Vi now being forced back. Biver the first to be taken down, and now here comes the Rio. Moving in onto the fight. A good 4-man silence from Dendi, but will it buy them time to turn around? Pycat looks back towards the Spectre, bringing the Rio down low, but they've already killed off Dendi. They'll turn towards Pycat, pick up a 3rd and a 4th as the Lightning procs come through, and Na'Vi getting wiped to the ground. None of these 4 heroes having buyback available. And at this point, you've just got to imagine that Na'Vi are probably talking over what went wrong and looking to go into game 2. And indeed, there we have it. The GG finally comes out from Na'Vi as Vega Squadron take it with incredible power here in the late game. And at the end of the day, Na'Vi just with a draft that had its strengths. We saw it at the start. Yeah. They had a strong beginning. It just wasn't strong enough. They drafted themselves into a corner. There was like one